Can we just have a little look at... we've got a piece from Sensing here, which I think was done for the ABC, Graeme, which you choreographed. We just have a little look at a bit of footage from Sensing. Now, Graeme, what's going on here? You've got a couple of people in the middle with strawberries.
This is the... this work dealt with the 5 senses, and this is the section that deals with taste. And I thought, well, you know, you could have had a huge smorgasbord and taste of everything, but I thought strawberries for me could really epitomise that sort of sweet sharpness that sort of on the tongue. And of course there is the touch aspect of strawberries too. I mean, in one scene here we crushed them in the armpits and it was a joy for the dancers. They had the best time doing it. That slightly salty texture, you know. We were dealing with taste in its rawest form.
Did you sort of shove them down the trouser and sort of feel that? There
was quite a lot of strawberry smearing going on, and the dancers really did enjoy it. But I think it's very wholesome and healthy.
Oh, of course,
of course. It's like very face pack, really. I mean,
when did you think strawberries? When did you think that was going to be the bloody one? Were you asleep, wake up, think strawberries, or...?
Yeah, it did come in a flash. It did come in a flash, but I didn't forget it. I woke up and the next day I said, that's it, you know, because I often get a lot of ideas in my sleeping moments. I think it's a great way, because you're not adding the sort of external intellect. You're actually sort of just going absolutely from the subconscious when you choreograph from your sleep, you know, and I do think that is a way to go. I mean, other people do it with computers and papers and things. I like that. Out of the depths of the darkness, you know, coming up with an idea.
Do you, when you see that, you know, did you give them notes after the performance? You know, and if so, what were the notes? You know, not harsh enough, not cruel enough with the strawberries. You know, you laid off the strawberries. You know,
indulge, absolutely. Because I mean, you know, people do tend to be a little bit. I don't know. I think it's Anglo-Saxon thing of being a bit too refined, you know. And I said, get in there with it, mush it, you know. And it was beautiful little shots where the ooze came through the toes when they stepped in them. It was just beautiful. It was so, and I mean, you can taste. It was almost like the bodies were tasting. You know, we think of taste as a function of the mouth, but it's almost like every pore of their body was actually feeling that strawberry.
That strawberry, no, I accept that. Graeme, you must get draw a lot of ideas just from wandering around town, catching the bus, watching people. You're a student of body language. You love seeing the way people move, the way they don't move, the way they're coy, the way they close up, the way they open up, infrequently though it may be. So where do you enjoy going? Wandering around the park, going to an Olympic pool, that sort of thing? Where do you like going to watch people, or natural?
Well, the pubs are good, you know. The pubs are good because people do drop the guard after a few drinks and, you know, and the body language becomes very direct. It's absolute. It doesn't filter through politeness. It just comes what we think is what we give, you know, and that's incredibly rich source of material for me.
Can we look at the couple of photos, Graeme, and get your thoughts on these? Here's a copy of, well, 3 buffheads from a rugby league side. St George Rugby League side, Brown, Tallis and Goulet.
Goulet up the back.
In their suits, in their St George suits. What do you make of their body language?
It's fascinating, really. There's an element of embarrassment, but that could be to do with the camera, but also I think the jacket could be a bit embarrassing. But you'll notice that progressively the smiles get less.
That's very true,
as they go back. And you'll notice that the boy at the back is probably going, I really should have been at the front. You know, there's this real wish. You can tell whether the smile is slightly soured. You know, it's not.
He's got the dud position. Up the
indeed.
back.
And here we've got a terrific shot of Wayne Carey about 60 metres out from goal. I hope we can get this one properly. It does want to.
Oh, that's good. Tone. Yes.
What's going through Wayne's mind here, Graeme?
He's thinking, if this happens for me, if this goal happens for me with my face, I'm going to get amazing sponsorship. Maybe a calendar, a solo calendar, not a team one.
No.
A solo calendar.
The Carey calendar.
That's the feeling I got from that.
Yes.
Very accurate.
Indeed.
Very accurate in both instances, Graeme. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And, Graeme, look, we've got to wind up. Thanks very much for coming in. All the best with the current show and the return of Beauty and the Beast in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank
and
you.
Keep dancing.
I'm going to do that.
Thank you, Graeme.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more Life in a moment.
3 out of every 49 Australian households have a Julian McMahon toilet. The Players Theatre presents The World of Ian, with Paul Surinan as Ian, Lisa Forrest as Susan, Cole Joy as Ian's dad, Greg Matthews as Ian's friend Cole, Annette Chanwar as Susan's friend Deirdre, and Ted Mulry as Bob the neighbour.
Well, it's a funny turn of events, Colin.
I say, Pop,
I didn't expect Bob to go the thumb.
Come on in, Bob. I've come to apologise, Cole. I just saw red, that's all.
Where's Dee?
I don't know, and it worries me. Had a pretty ordinary night.
Good morning, all. Hello, Bob. Well done, Steve.
Bob, you all right?
Tell the truth, Susan. I think our marriage is finished.
That's no good, Bob.
Bad luck, Bob.
Grim news, Bob.
It's a very sad development, Bob.
Sad, grim news, bad luck. It's about the size of it.
She must be just plain no good, Bob.
Fact is, I just didn't see it coming.
Yep, she sold you the dump, all right.
The bitch.
Super bitch.
She's my best friend.
What? Still after all she's done to Bob?
Well, Bob asked for it. All that fish business and the stupid boat and giving us all that flounder that we couldn't eat because it was off, and then laughing when Pops was throwing up in the backyard.
Now, hang on. You did laugh, Bob. Shut up, Dad. You've got a choice here, Sue. You either join us hating Deirdre, or it's over.
Hi, Greg Jelks back again. I do a lot of training because to play ball, you have to be fit. You got to eat well and get 8 hours of rest. That's why I make New South Wales Rugby League cheese a big part of my diet and eat a date finger a day to keep me regular. Well, every night I stretch out on a king tide sleep maker.
Enjoy the sleep of the dead on a mattress full of flathead.
Australians, you've sat in the bleachers for long enough, and now it's time to strap on the boots and blow your trumpets.
Hello everyone and welcome to war-torn Darwin. Here we are standing alongside a Mitsubishi Zero. Now a lot of people in Australia at the moment are driving Mitsubishi Pajeros, and this is the Forerunner. Tremendous plane. One day, of course, Hajime Toyoshima was tooling about up around Bono Harbour, a few miles here from Darwin Central, and obviously shot down by some vigorous diggers, Anzacs at work protecting the Australian coast. Ended up much in the manner of a lot of Pajeros today, i.e. buggered. But we find in the cockpit Roy doing a tremendous impersonation of Hajime. How does it feel, Roy?
No, it's good in here. It was what I describe as a lovely flying plane. Very nippy, very handy, very malleable, and ultimately very ductile by the looks of things. But it is interesting to look at. You can feel the vibes.
Hirohito?
Well, Hirohito, Tojo, mistake, shouldn't have done it.
Too
Pearl
far.
Harbor, big mistake. Darwin, you know, probably we shouldn't have done. Singapore, bad idea. You know, prosecuting the cause of imperialism, Japanese imperialism, you know, dud idea.
Yes.
So you do get that feeling here, that sort of ambience. Certainly here in the cockpit, you feel as if you can imagine him sitting here thinking, well, bugger me, this was all one hell of a mistake and I wish I hadn't have come. That would have been his last thoughts. Other thing I should point out is that probably a lot of the steel that this is manufactured out of would have come probably courtesy of BHP. Probably would have been mined somewhere around the Pilbara, taken to Port Kembla or Newcastle and forged, shipped off in pig iron, thank you very much, courtesy of Pig Iron Bob, i.e. Bob Menzies, who was Prime Minister at the time, and came back in the form of Mitsubishi Zeros that you can see here before you. Very salutary lesson about trade, international politics and ambitions, and how it's a very heady cocktail when you put all those together, because you end up with catastrophe.
And of course the only thing that Hajime worried about is he thought it was a two-person plane and would have liked to have somebody up behind him there in the cockpit.
Yeah, right, riding doggy, as we used to call it. Anyway, there you go, another trumpet well and truly blown.
Coming up next, Clive Hale, the yodeling minx of news.
Yes, welcome back to The Life, and obviously our street has electrified viewing across this great Asian nation of ours, and we've been contacted by two people who have seen themselves on our street.
Yes, contacted us too late though, I must say. That is Brett and Quentin. You remember them, they were outside the shop, the amusement shop in Perth, doing the nut gear.
Yes,
you remember?
that's right.
That's them. Thank you for sending them in. Thank you very much. That's great.
And even though you have missed out on the Boeing 747 and the Brock Commodore, there will be a substantial and attractive prize coming your way. Now, let's go to picture this from last week. Roy said a terrific conundrum, and it was in the following manner.
Yes, spot the odd one out. A, Citizen. B, Sydney Fisher. C, Nissan Skyline. D, Sistine Chapel.
And all the winning entries went into here, and Roy will now pluck a winner from the red barrel behind us. Roy, who have you got? Who's won all the loot last week?
Right, we've got, the answer is inside. Right, it's, looks like it's come... Hang on. It's a bit elusive, this one. It's come from, Thomas Ian Horsfeld.
Yes,
of
the
Bega.
horse.
Cheesetown, Bega.
Yes.
Congratulations. And his answer is here, I assume. The odd picture is Nissan Skyline because the S's are in the wrong place, i.e. it's the only one that doesn't start with S. Congratulations, Thomas Ian Horsfeld. Mind you, looking at the writing and the drawing that he's done here, I think you might be a little bit young to be up so late. Get to bed, because the subject matter is often, what, PG, isn't it?
Well, Roy, only in certain people's minds. This week we've got a terrific prize. We've got the hat, the Roy and HG hat. Yes. We've got this terrific cassette, pound for pound, all you need to know about the fight game, and of course the shirt, if it's feral, it's in peril. And here it is here. It's terrific there and terrific on the back as well. Plus, oh, yes, they wanted it, so we got it for you again. The James Hardy book with Big Bob Mundell doing the words, signed tonight. Thanks very much, Graeme Murphy. Roy,
collector's item.
Set out this week's picture this.
OK, picture this. Spot the odd one out of the following four. A, Kevin Costner. B, Errol Flynn. C, Anthony Hopkins. And D, Richard Green.
Yes.
And send your entrance to... Picture this. This sporting life care of ABC TV, GPO Box 9994 Sydney 2001, or fax us on 02 950 3466.
Roy, last Friday you represented Australia at Ayrton Senna's funeral. You took the ABC camcorder along and got some telling shots. Take us through them.
Yes, let's have a look at what was a very, very moving ceremony. Remember, this bloke used to drive cars. He was a car driver. He used to sit in a car and drive quickly. Yes. Some say too quickly.
Yes.
And this is what he gets. He gets the guns, he gets the roses, he gets... And I think it sends out a mixed signal. I mean, do we really need encouragement for people to go out and drive cars stupidly? Do we?
I don't think so.
Is that what the world's come to? That we should encourage this sort of behaviour? I mean, I know, you know, Brazil has been down on its luck every now and again, but to elevate a bloke to that sort of position, I just think it's going a little bit too... I found it a little bit embarrassing. I mean, he just drove a car.
Well, the thing that worries me, Roy, is he should have turned left when he turned to the right and crashed into a wall. Now, how many people in Australia, how many people in the history of motoring would have done that and snuffed themselves in a similar manner? Did they get the 21-gun salute?
Well,
Did they get the flyover from the Brazilian Air Force? Did they get the pedals out of the barrel and all over the coffin? Did they get the guys on the motorbikes waving the crowd back as they wriggle their hips on the back of a BSA? Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't.
Well, I just think it sends the wrong signal out to the kiddies of the world. It does. We shouldn't be encouraging this at all.
And Roy, what is it about motor racing? I mean, has it produced anything worthwhile apart from the seatbelt in the years that it's been underway and Murray Walker's zany call? They're the only two things that come to mind.
Oh, the disc brake.
Oh, the disc brake. Did we get the disc brake?
I think we did. As you say, the seatbelt and the helmet.
The helmet?
The helmet.
Was the crash helmet invented for motor racing?
Yeah.
Geez, not a lot, though.